Hi, John Sicotte, executive editor of the Brewer Magazine podcast going on today. And it's Friday, February 16th as we're recording this. Hopefully you've seen the new issue of Brewer, third space on the cover. You can view it online as well. Digital edition coming out. All the individual stories will be up online very soon. But like we like to do is kind of dig into some things that are going on right now, and we're very happy to be talking about taproom expansion this time, and going to bring in Matt and Brandon from Dewey Beer in Delaware and now Denver. Welcome, guys.
Hey, hello, thank you.
So, Brandon, and I'll kind of start with you. What's the history of Dewey Beer? I mean, I know you guys are about 2015, right? Summer of 2015.
Yeah, that's right. The history is, Mike and Scott and I, we founded it back in 2015 out of the love for beer, and we're all from the area of the Dewey Beach area, and just kind of really followed the love for beer and all the places it's taken us.
You know what's funny enough is it's like it was sticking in my head because I've been to Rehoboth Beach and we were in the Dewey Beach area also. It was June 8th, 2015 that I was there. It was a Monday. We were looking for a brewery that would be, and I don't think you guys were open. It was just like a weekend thing still at the time. So, I mean, we were this close, and you guys had only opened late May?
Yeah, it was like May 25th.
Yeah. So, I missed out on checking you guys out, and you would have been.
Yeah. I don't know if you missed anything for the first week, though. I mean, it definitely took us at least a year to go from walking to a nice little jog.
Sure, it always is. It's a struggle. I mean, what was your guys' background? Walking into that situation.
Both Mike and I had background in restaurant and hospitality for quite a while. Mike had a teaching background, specifically in science. I sort of had some creative and hospitality as well, and so we meshed together there. And funny enough, we'd been working in enough restaurants where we knew we definitely did not want to do a restaurant. But yeah, it was our vehicle to get the brewery going, was to come in as a brew pub, and it's been a blessing ever since because it brings so many more people in.
Gotcha. Well, kind of let's jump to the future. I mean, you guys ended up adding a production space a few years ago, and it looks like you kind of started dipping your toes into different markets. I mean, was Colorado that first one outside of the metro area where you guys were? I mean, what's your distribution range, and how have you kind of developed that?
Yeah, I'd say Colorado is the only market really outside of the Mid-Atlantic. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a bit of when I joined Dewey and started helping with the national distribution network. It was a bit of a selfish endeavor to send beer to Colorado, just because I think we love it out here so much as a getaway from the beach to the mountains. Brandon, for example, he goes and runs these crazy ultra trail marathons or up in Steamboat, and he does like 100-mile runs up in the mountains. Mike and I are big into gravel bike races and stuff like that. So there's definitely a love for the outdoor lifestyle here, and we started poking the bear with sending beer out here. We had some relationships out here that existed from prior, and it's sort of just everything kind of shuffled into place.
Awesome. It was just a, kind of, you said, self-motivation to be able to have your own beer there. When you start looking into the Denver beer market, what made it seem like this was a good move for you guys regardless?
Well, the community here is incredible, specifically in the Rhino neighborhood where we are. I used to live out here myself many years ago, so I kind of watched this neighborhood grow up a bit, and had some existing relationships with a lot of the breweries in the neighborhood in the Rhino Arts District. So we had a little bit of entry, our foot was in the door a bit, but I think once we started to explore the market, Mike, Brandon, and I spent some time up in Summit County. a couple years ago doing some beer fests, and I think that we all just our love for the Colorado beer scene just sort of flourished, and I think that's when we sort of started to put the feelers out that if there was an opportunity, we'd want to pursue it. And fortunately for us, that opportunity opened up with some folks that we had a existing relationship with, and we were able to sort of slide right into Denver.
And that's it. Like, explain a little bit of how this kind of became, because, you know, in the press release that you guys sent, it's, you know, kind of, did it spawn at GABF? What was the lead up to it with doing the pop-up at Mockery and then now working at?
Well, so I literally used to live 2 blocks from this brewery location back in 2013 and 14, and I became friends with the Mockery gang. And then when I noticed their post about closing up, I reached out. Friendly, just, you know, hope everything's going okay, and let me know what's happening. And then they let us know that they were interested in, you know, handing it off to another brewery. And that's when I started poking Mike and Brandon and saying, hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about going to Denver? So I definitely, you know, got the ball rolling, I think. And then these guys jumped on board, and luckily everybody was on the same wavelength, and the GABF pop-up was probably a month after Mockery had closed, so it was a little bit of like dip our toes in the water and see if we're going to be accepted in the neighborhood, and then and it was a great success. It was a fun 4 days of GABF, and we saw a lot of folks like yourself who mentioned over and over as they came through the doors, I've visited Rehoboth or Dewey. I've been there. And it was this strange small world connection that started to happen. And obviously Denver is a lot of transplant residents that are coming from all over the country. And so we have a lot of folks that roll in here, even as we've been soft opening here for the first couple weeks, you know, wearing their Dewey t-shirts or their University of Delaware shirts. So it's been an interesting little adventure so far. But yeah, the pop-up was the start of it, and that just excited us more. And then we pushed forward.
Brandon, you know, what was your take on it when Matt came to you with this proposition, and where were you guys in the mindset of volume and production, and where you know, you have to start putting all this stuff together and know that you want to be able to start doing this. I think that obviously since Mockery was there, you guys had the equipment there too. Was that, I mean, there's all these little things.
Yeah, we were very blessed with this whole situation. This was a very turnkey situation. We just sort of came in and redecorated. So we've got a beautiful 15-barrel brew house behind us here in Denver. Ironically, the exact same controls and system from Premier Stainless that we have at both the brew pub and at the production. So our gang was able to come in and just kind of like, they knew where everything was and sort of able to fire it up. So
yeah, and I think to like kind of piggyback on what Matt was saying a little bit earlier is we had already been doing some traveling back and forth from Colorado. I think we always fantasized about living and working and playing all in the same spot, and that definitely is kind of how we go about things here in Delaware as well, as the beer and the company reflects kind of our lifestyle, and you know, Colorado, what it can do out there is you know, a lifestyle that we also love. So yeah, we were fantasizing about it for a long time, and we even, you know, kind of just joking around, like thought about what would it be like to have a place here, and not knowing that anything would pop up, you know, in our lap. And so when it actually did, you know, it didn't take us very long. It was a pretty quick turnaround, especially because we had a little bit of a presence there already through distribution. We thought this would be a fantastic boost, and to have you know, in such a great city. You know, the town of Dewey does blow up during the summer, but we have 200 year-round residents here. So to have a taproom presence in a beer city with beer people, you know, that there's a handful of people that actually already knew who we were, it's cool. It's exciting.
So when it comes to, like, you were working on distribution, you were trying to build a brand in a city that, you know, isn't your hometown. all of a sudden you guys become a part of that, and you are a part of that hometown. Have you seen, even just in this few weeks, the difference of people being like, oh, this is a local brewery now, this is something that we can say is local in the Rhino area?
Yeah, it's been a pretty quick transition. We do have a sales rep who's been in the market here for about a year now, helping us with distribution. Natasha immediately saw some barriers to entry in certain bars get broken down because it was like a local only taps, and now, hey, we're local. So yeah, it's definitely changed. Once the beers start coming out of here as well, should be sometime toward mid to late March that these we actually start releasing some Colorado batches. I think that's going to be like game changing for sure, especially in this market, obviously.
Well, how about talk about a little bit about that production thing? All of a sudden, you guys have another brewery to work with. Where did the staff come from? Are you bringing guys in? Are you moving people from Delaware? I mean, how did that all come together?
Do you want to comment on that, Brandon? It's going to be a little chaotic to start, I think, but
yeah. As always, it's chaos at first. And yeah, we rarely know exactly what we're doing, but we always figure it out along the way.
Yeah, exactly. To start, our gang from Dewey, Delaware, will be coming out here to get everything fired up. Our head brewer at our production location, John, used to brew out here. Used to be a Tommy knocker, so he's familiar with the Colorado scene. But I think, to get going, we're going to kind of rotate some of those guys in and out, and then hopefully figure out what the long-term plan is. Maybe one of our younger co-workers will decide to move out here or something like that.
There's always been, there's lots of volunteers already.
Yeah.
Two nice. I mean, if you're a mountains person, you're a beach person. I mean, you guys got, those are some good hiring incentives either way.
Well, yeah, again, that's kind of what inspired us, right? We got the best of both worlds now. We got the beach and the mountains, and hopefully we can kind of bridge the culture between the two with our tap rooms and the beer.
What is your tap room feel, and are they going to, when you started at the original location on the beach and moved in production and add a spot there, are they a lot alike? And is, like you said, you guys kind of take over another brewery. Do you make it become a part of what Dewey is there, or what Dewey can be in Rhino? How have you guys developed those tap rooms?
Well, it's all about lifeguard chairs. No, I'm kidding.
I'll say, no, they actually all have their own personality. And, kind of similar to our beers, we love reinventing things, updating looks. And our original spot is definitely this cozy place right on the beach block. Our production place 12 miles away from here is way more modernized, and Denver already has its own personality as well, which is really cool. So we're not cookie cutter.
Yeah, and we're trying to be good neighbors and fit, and I think our vibe here in Denver is going to be very accommodating and welcoming to the arts district that Rhino is. So I think you're going to see lots of, First Friday art installations, things like that. We've got existing murals on the exterior of the building, just like lots of the buildings here. We've got some friends already starting to put their bids in to, update the murals here on our building. So I think, exactly what Brandon said. It's not a cookie cutter situation, and each location sort of has been a chameleon to the neighborhoods that they're in, and we're going to do the same here.
Has there been any pitfalls, things that have, kind of been stumbling blocks for you guys, whether it's going from opening the production area to now taking this over? What are some of those hoops that, especially when you're working in different states, there's breweries that do this or breweries that want to do this. What are they looking, what do they got to look out for? What have you?
Wow. That's a big question. it's been pretty seamless so far. Obviously, we've got a lot of things to iron out yet. To be honest, the biggest little goof that we've made so far is that we released our DBC Dewey Beer Co. hats here in Denver, and we got pushback from everybody saying, no. DBC here is Denver Beer Company. And I was like, oh, we're taking those off the shelf. But like, that's the only little goof so far. Everybody's been extremely welcoming. I think the big thing for ahead of us is just going to be figuring out how we, bring the Dewey brewing culture and the Dewey way, if you will, sort of to the brew house here. And yeah, because we're 1,800 miles apart, it's going to be a lot of interesting back and forth travel, I think, for our brewing team for a little bit. And then I think we're going to figure out the kinks and get settled in.
How have been just the differences of clientele and customers? Is that going to change the beer styles? I mean, you guys probably have some cores that you're bringing. Is it going to change? And I know you have a 15 barrel system there that you can make stuff for the Denver market. What are those conversations been, and just, staying to your way, but also creating beers for these different areas?
Brandon?
Yeah. Yes. So we definitely, there is a different taste, on the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, and in the Colorado Western areas. But there's also a bunch of crossover, and I know we also are doing some styles and doing some, fruited beers that aren't as accessible in the Western area. So we love to be, first off, we're beer guys, so we love all beer, and it's fun to brew the local styles, and it's also going to be really cool for us to bring over our Mid-Atlantic stuff that people dig over here.
Yeah, I think it'll be treated in the same mentality as the original brew pub at the beach block there. There's a 7-barrel brew house at the beach, and basically that's where all the fun experimental beers happen. And then they sort of don't really exit the tap rooms. They don't go to distro, I should say, that we always package them to go. But I think that's going to be the same sort of creative mentality here in Denver, that these are going to be Colorado exclusive beers. We're going to get outside our typical styles a little bit. But these beers aren't. You're gonna find them mostly here at the tap room. They're not going to be out in the wild too often, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with that because we also have our production beers that are in distro here as well. So we're gonna have like this nice triangle of all three breweries kind of rotating beer around a bit. So it should be fun.
Anything new going on for you guys? I mean, obviously lots of new stuff going on, but anything style-wise or ideas that you guys are looking to do now, whether it comes to making beer or coming up with a strategy to help promote all three of these spots? I mean, what's kind of the groundwork right now in 2024 as you guys get these things going?
I think we're always refining our process, and we're always paying attention to what everybody else is doing. So, I mean, as in terms of what we're going to do for 2024 in Denver specifically, to be determined. But I think the number one thing we take away is we're always trying to refine and make that beer better.
Well, cool. That seems like it just seems like it's a cool opportunity for you guys to be able to work in probably unplanned. I mean, what was the timeline on this? It's been less than a year since all of this has happened, right? I mean, 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. It was a bit of a whirlwind, so that's where we're still definitely getting our feet under us. But it was like sort of the opportunity was there, and we had to jump on it so that we didn't lose it. And now we're getting all the papers organized, sort of thing. We do have some great community opportunities coming up though, and the Colorado Brewers Guild is a fantastic organization. They run a lot of great events. So we're hoping, if the timing, it's a little tight this year, but we're going to try to make it work. Like Collaboration Fest is coming up in March, and there's some great events and festivals throughout this coming year that we're going to have an opportunity to collab with some of our some breweries that we have existing relationships with, and then obviously building some new friendships. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, I think, with a sort of a collaboration campaign a little bit to get going. And it sounds like these guys are already planning a sort of a Colorado days out in Dewey Beach, where we're gonna get some sixtels and kegs shipped out from all of our friends here in Colorado, and do a little Denver days in Dewey. So there's some fun back and forth ideas that are coming together, and obviously as they come to fruition, we'll blast it out on our social media and website and stuff.
Awesome. And you got GABF right in your backyard now. So
yeah,
and it's going to be huge this year because they've combined the homebrew con into it. So
I guess we actually have to submit beers to judging now.
You can just walk them over this time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, cool, guys.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time.
It sounds like an exciting time for you guys. Sounds like a hectic time for you guys. Best wishes to you, and hopefully you guys have continued success both in Dewey Beach and in Denver.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on. And if anybody is in the Denver area, next Saturday, February 24th, is the official grand opening party. Awesome. Mike, Brandon, everybody will be here. Everybody's going to be hanging. So come say hi, have a beer.
Awesome. Brandon, Matt, and all you guys, a lot of airline miles going to be logging in. Probably I have been already. So enjoy those flights and enjoy the 3 tap rooms you guys got going on.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Don't forget, you can always check on brewermag.com. You can also see us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify. And don't forget daily updates on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I'm Executive Editor John Sicotte for brewermagazine.com.